Hi guys, and welcome back to Project 40. In the previous episode, we gave the Punto its first service in 10 years. Oil filter, air filter, cabin filter, spark plugs, door stays, you name it, we changed it, and boy, did it need it. Now we move on to the really complex stuff, the timing belt. It's a super important part for the Punto for reasons I'll explain in a minute, so it's really important that we get this done soon, particularly as we've got some big road trips and events that we're attending next month. So I'm really excited that we're able to start moving things on. With that being said, let's get started. The 1.8 litre engine from the Fiat Barchetta is an interference engine. And what that means is that when it falls out of time or the timing belt snaps, the engine will lunge itself. Why does that happen? Because the pistons will come in contact with the valves and realistically just write off the engine. And that means probably I'd write off the car as well, because I don't know where I'd find a replacement engine. So it's really important that we get this done. And I'm really excited to get this car across to Auto Alfa. They're a Fiat specialist locally, and they are able to help us out and get working on the car. There we go. All right, cheers, man.
I'll look forward to that video.
Yeah, defo. I'll send it through, man.
Much appreciated.
All right, catch you later.
I like the bit as well.
Cheers, man. See you later. So we may have a problem. Yeah, I suspect this is engine oil. So why it's dripping so much, clearly either the filter housing or maybe the sump plug isn't as tight or has worked its way loose. Something I'll get the guys to check whilst it's in the garage.
3 days later.
We are on our way to Auto Alfa. Project 40 is apparently all ready to go after a couple of days. So one of the things I'm really interested in is how the car actually sounds and drives, because we've had that variator spring changed. And so it's not going to have, well, fingers crossed, it's not going to have that diesely noise at startup, and it's not going to have that squeaky auxiliary belt as well. So what does the car actually sound like? How does it sound as it goes through the rev range? That's what I'm really intrigued in the first drive, is just to see kind of what the 1.8 engine actually sounds like when it's in reasonably good condition. I don't know if a car that's been this unloved over 10 years can really be classified as good condition. All right, so we've paid for the Punto, and now it's just a question of getting all my recording equipment set up in it and then getting on the road. How does the car sound with the cam variator rebuild done? Hopefully it sounds less diesely on startup. Let's find out. Sounds a lot nicer, a lot smoother. My word. Yeah, that's sounding much happier. So that sounds a lot better compared to what it was. I think getting that cam variator changed and getting the engine nice and timed, because the belt was probably like starting to stretch due to age, really makes it sound a lot healthier. It probably still needs that new back box replaced, but I think otherwise it's time to get into the car, see how it sounds on the road. All right, let's take this for its first proper drive. Can't remember the last time I drove a right-hand drive manual. My camper van is a left-hand drive, so this is a bit of a throwback. Steering, let's see how that goes. Let's activate city mode for absolutely no different. I guess kind of on the center line it feels a little bit different. Doesn't feel as over assisted as I thought it would. So let's recap what we've done so far. We have done a full service. We have done the timing belt, the water pump, and the cam variator. We've done 4 new tyres. What's left on the list? Well, back box, because we know how rusty that is. Brakes, maybe. When I got the tyres changed, I had a look under the arches, checked out the brakes and the pads, and they looked okay, but they looked old. The discs looked quite rusty, and there's loads of meat left on the pads. So hopefully with a good drive, those brakes will start to get cleaned up, because there's no point changing things that are okay and they feel all right. So hopefully they won't need to get changed. I'm not too sure what else we need to do right now, which is great. I need to kind of turn my attention more to the interior. This car is filthy. It definitely needs a nice clean. But mechanically, apart from the only thing I've detected whilst driving it is this gear stick doesn't go back into center. It kind of stays where it wants, kind of almost like a video game controller, which feels a little bit weird. The research I've done on it thus far indicates that there's basically the linkage between the gear stick and the gearbox can basically get furred up, so it basically goes into the linkage goes into a tube, and if you basically take the linkage off, clean out that tube and lube it up, it basically fixes the problem. So fingers crossed it's going to be that. Interesting, the seat leveling kind of only works on one side. All right, let's see if we can open her up a little bit. Not bad, not bad. Is it a, you know, a finely tuned race car? No, it's a Super Mini with a larger engine. Road noise is pretty well suppressed. I'm surprised, considering it's a Super Mini. It's not too bad. It's certainly more pliant on the road than my Mini, so the suspension's a little bit softer, but feels great. There's like expansion joints in the road, so you can hear them and feel them a little bit, but it's not harsh. It's not overly stiff. Visibility is okay. I'm not a big fan of the rear tints. I don't know if I assume they're factory rear tints, but they definitely make it a little bit harder to see out the rear. Next steps, I think the biggest priority is get this clean. It feels surprisingly modern, and I feel really, really lucky to have it. This is an exceptionally rare car these days, as I've said, just 15 left on the road, which is why I'm really excited to get down to Auto Alfa next month, because this is going to go on the Fiat section. I don't know if there's a stand or a section, I don't know how it works, but we're definitely going to be on display. And this is going to be one of the rarest cars there. I have no doubt in my mind, an HGT that, you know, I'm going to be tripping over Ferrari F355s, you know, 430s, 360s, you know, Lamborghinis. There's going to be loads of them. Punto HGTs, I strongly doubt there is going to be more than this car. That's how rare it is. So I think it's going to be, hopefully it gets a lot of interest. If you do see me there, you know, don't hesitate to reach out and say hi. If you've not seen the car before, definitely reach out and say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's a fun little project car. It doesn't cost too much money, and it's just cheerful. You know, it's, as my wife said, it's midlife crisis yellow. It's always a conversation starter. It makes people smile. Yeah, it's great fun, this car. It feels really, really good. And you just don't see them. You don't see yellow Puntos. You don't see Mark II Puntos anymore. You might occasionally see a Mark IIB, but they're kind of ugly. So, you know, I don't really, they don't hold the same sort of place in my heart as this one does. And with that, we are done with another episode. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It makes a huge difference to small channels like this one. There's hopefully going to be an exciting other video coming up about my my compatriot in the journey to Shedfest end of next month. There's quite a special car that is going to be joining me for that one. My brother's been working on it for 4 years now, and it's just now coming to fruition. So it's going to be a really fun one. So don't forget to smash that notification bell, as well as liking and subscribing. And so when that video comes up, you'll be the first to know. With that, I'll catch you down the road.